Here's a chapter on Indiana, and it starts, 30-foot jumper and 1,000-yard stare. You drive through Indiana, and there's a basketball hoop attached to every garage, and there's somebody shooting around. I love Indiana because it's one of those states that cares only about basketball. Even though it has a lot of farmers, they play basketball in overalls. When you think of Indiana basketball, you think of vintage Bobby Knight from the 80s, the angriest coach in history. He looked and acted like what Trump would look and act like as a coach. He never smiled. He kicked his players and threw chairs. He had anger issues, but nobody ever even said, "Hey, coach, you have an abusive childhood?" Because people didn't talk that way in those days. The announcer didn't say, "Wow, Coach Knight is really misplacing his anger today. Boy, oh man, the coach is screaming at the ref like his father screamed at him back on the farm." I'll be honest with you, Charles. I've never seen a clearer picture of the damaged child that is one of the winningest coaches in the Midwest Conference than we are seeing here today. You said it, Brett. This guy is a textbook example of a cycle of abuse. But Knight had some good qualities compared with other coaches. He wasn't a sexual abuser, at least, and he made all his players go to class. Those are the two choices you have in life. Either you can go with a verbally abusive bastard who plays by the rules, or a secret sexual deviant whom the players like but who's getting millions from Nike. Which one are you? Which one am I? Most of us probably think I'd be the player because everybody always sees themselves as a victim hero. Like when people ask whether you would be a good German who goes along with Nazis or a resistor. Nobody is ever the Nazi. Well, guess what? There were a lot of Nazis back then. They had to be somebody's baby, as Jackson Browne would say. I don't think he was writing that song about Nazis, by the way, but you never know. Alert. I just Googled Jackson Browne at this moment. And guess what? Where he was born. Heidelberg, Germany. Call it Providence. Call it coincidence. But that was one I will always cherish. Somebody's baby. Was probably written by Joseph Mengele. But the real king of Indiana is JCM, John Cougar Mellencamp. This guy put in work. What's more Indiana than Jack and Diane, munching on chili dogs outside the Tasty Freeze, pink houses, another masterpiece of Indiana. I remember I hated Mellencamp when he started because I was watching his video with a girl on my left, and she said, "Hey, he's cute." She didn't have to say it out loud. Most girls just give each other a look when they see someone cute and they're sitting on a guy's lap. But not this girl. She just had to blurt it out. "Hey, he's cute." I don't know what her problem was, but it still pisses me off, although less so than at the time. And I know some of you people are saying, if you were really secure, you wouldn't be threatened by that kind of comment. Duh. Yeah, no shit. If I were really secure, I wouldn't have destroyed and sabotaged 15 golden opportunities, and I'd be dictating this book to a lowly group of assistants on a beach in Spain. But that's not the way life plays out. Look at your life. Are you secure? I thought so. There's two sides to this. Don't open up a can of worms. Speaking of horrible expressions, can of worms? That's a little strange. Is that an old fishing hole expression? Where would you find a can of worms? Other than in a John Cougar Mellencamp song? Sitting at the fishing hole? A bag of canned worms? Small town boy all day and night as far as that's concerned. I'm not a songwriter, but I like to believe I could be in a kind of Eugene Landy way. Indiana is one of those corn states. Corn itself is a weird crop because it's mostly for other farmers for their livestock. Corn farmers are the comedians of farmers. We don't get corn farmers, but the other farmers probably stop their trucks in the middle of the road and watch them work the fields for half an hour and go, "People are so stupid." How could they not appreciate this? Don't they see this guy as a genius? I guess the point is that Indiana is hard to figure out. There's a hoop in every driveway next to a tractor. It's strange. You'd think they'd like football or baseball because they spend all their time in the fields. But maybe that's actually it. They're so sick of being in the field that they don't want to see a field when they're relaxing. And in hockey, the ice reminds them of a destruction of their crops, so that leaves basketball. God bless you, Indiana. You're the reason why they invented a three-point line. Indianans don't blink. I don't know why, but it probably has something to do with looking out over the fields. Probably trying to spot any kind of infestations or deformities in the crops. Indiana is one of those states where people are all about the honor system. If you steal something, they can't even believe it because they don't want anything free, ever. They represent the part of our country. The states that think anybody who gets any government benefits is a freeloader. They've been quietly stewing over it since the New Deal, but they'll never say anything because they're Indianans. They just stare.